Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and I have a special guest with me today. His name is Leonard, and we are going to talk a little bit about his decision to move to Thailand because he has recently decided to move here and he hasn't really fully lived here quite yet. He's been like back and forth, and he's here with his family for 1 week before he makes that big move. And Leonard is from America. Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Now live in Charleston, South Carolina to hopefully the end of May, and then I'll be living here. Been working since I was 14 years old, did 8 years in the Army and 23 years as a forklift operator at a steel plant.
Nice. So out of all the places in the world, why did you choose to retire in Thailand?
Well, it was the internet. In my military days, all I thought about was Costa Rica because I seen an episode on Discovery Channel about Costa Rica. So I decided that's where I wanted to retire. And once the internet came and I started doing YouTube, or started looking at YouTube, that's when I decided to research Costa Rica and realized that it wasn't what I thought it would be. So I started researching other places. I looked at Cuba, Madagascar, Dominican Republic, Brazil, and then one day, Thailand popped up on my feed.
Oh.
And as I watched and did the research about Thailand, I was like, this is the place I think I want to retire.
Okay. And how long did you do the research for before you decided to come here?
Oh, well, I mean, it only took a month for me to decide to come here. But when I first seen the first couple of videos, I was like, this is the place I want to go. But I researched for 3 years of everything I needed to know about moving here.
Okay. And what really attracts you to Thailand?
Just the beauty of it, the culture, the people, the infrastructure, the economy. It was just, the safety. There was a lot of things that I was looking for that I wouldn't have to worry about as I got older in a certain place. Not like, United States. Once you get older, you're pretty much a victim of who knows who. Once you're there at that point in your life.
And the women's not part of it because you are single?
Oh yeah, of course.
I had to add that in there.
Women, they're all over the world, but yes, of course. I didn't want to seem shallow or nothing, but
yeah. I mean, like a lot of single men decide to retire in Thailand, and the last couple that I interviewed, they're married. So Leonard is a single guy, and obviously I had to ask that question because I think it's an important part of life. Have you had any experience since you've been here with the Thai women?
Yes. Yeah? First of all, they're all polite, they're all nice, they're all sweet. You just have to understand that a lot of stuff is transactional here. Not everything is not 100%. You can meet nice women that's not looking for you to be taken care of and everything like that. So you just have to be cautious and know what you're looking for.
Be somewhat level-headed, I believe.
Definitely.
And just be aware of what's going on, right?
Right.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, you have to understand that you're coming over here does not make you the most handsome man in the world.
Even though they say, oh, sexy man.
Yeah, that's not you. So you have to understand that this is just how it's played. This is just the game. Just stay level-headed. I could understand how people come here and end up broke because it's just, you start spending money and you realize, oh, that was only $50. And next you know, you're doing it every day. And next you know, by the end of the week, you're going to spend $300-400 in that week, and it all adds up. So you have to be level-headed. You have to understand that this is the lifestyle.
And you have a long-term goal, right?
Yeah.
To live here.
To live here. So
and retire here.
If you're going to be here and to retire and stay here to the day you pass, you have to be sensible about your funds and your money. And what you're actually looking for and what you want. And
Leonard actually decided to purchase a property here in Thailand the first time that you came, which was very brave of him.
Yes. There was some learning curves with that too.
Yeah. I was quite shocked actually because I did advise him perhaps you should just look around and see if you really love this place before you take that leap, because it's a huge investment, and also it sets root in a new country, and it could be quite scary. So I didn't really advise him to purchase right away, but he was like, I'm here for a purpose. So and he really pursued his purpose and made that decision and decided to make Thailand his permanent home, which I feel like is very brave of you. And not many people that I know are willing to just come here for the first time and purchase a property like that. But you definitely took that huge leap of faith. And do you regret it at all whatsoever, or are you happy with your decision?
Don't regret it at all. I'm very happy on my decision. And like you said, I mean, I researched for 3 years. So when I came, I knew what I wanted to do when I first came. And once I got here and experienced just for a couple of days of this experience in Thailand, I was like, this is where I want to be. I already made up my mind. This is what I'm going to do. And I don't consider it brave. I mean, we have people like, ex-military people that's traveled the world and been other places and then have to get used to the new place that you are. It's not that hard to just say, hey, I'm going there and that's where I want to live and that's where I want to be. And you just have to decide that's what I want and that's what I'm going to do.
I think you're very humble, but I still believe that's very brave of you to come here not knowing much about a country. I know you've done like your research on the internet and everything. What you saw on the internet, is it what you found when you arrived, or is it better, or is it worse than what you thought it was going to be?
It was much better.
Yeah.
It was better than what I thought. And I think it was the fact that I was seeing it all the time on YouTube. I was seeing this and seeing that and everything that was going on. But once I got here and experienced, it was just overwhelming. Like it was humbling to me, and it was like this is my dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't want to live their dreams because they're afraid of failing. And I just made up my mind. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. That's why they say a lot of dreams go to the grave, because like you said, a lot of people aren't willing to take that leap and live out their dream. And I don't think you can really fail unless you don't even try. But I'm very happy that you love it here. And by the way, I am Leonards' real estate agent. I am a real estate agent here in Pattaya. So if you guys need any assistance with anything here in Pattaya, I'd be more than happy to assist you. How did you feel my service was? Shameless plug, you guys.
It was the best. I mean, like I said, I'm watching YouTube and I'm watching your videos on your real estate stuff. And I said, well, I'm going to reach out. Sent you an email. We talked back and forth. We did the whole WhatsApp and everything. And I don't think I could have got anything done if it wasn't for you.
Aww.
You are like I said, my Thai liaison.
Mm-hmm.
Any issue I have or any questions I have or anything that I just confused about or don't know, and I call you, you always set me straight, let me know what I need to do and how to take care of it. And I think that's a big part of moving here too. You have to find the right person that can help you through all the bumps and everything else. Because a lot of times you may get here and you're pretty much on your own and lost and not figuring out, trying to figure out what to do. Yeah. And that's where the stress comes in.
Yeah.
But as long as you have someone that you can count on this side, it's a stress-free move.
Yeah. I feel like the main thing is communication, especially if you're a foreigner coming to a different country and you don't speak that language. I think it's very important to work with a local who can assist you and give you the best information possible. And I hope I did that for you.
Definitely. Definitely did that for me. Like I said, the fact of having to go back to take care of the financial stuff on my end, coming back and taking care of the closing and everything else, if you weren't here taking care of that, it wouldn't happen. It may have discouraged me if I did it the wrong way. I did it by myself to have to come back. But because you helped me, it made it so much easier. It made me just want to come here and come back as many times as I have and want to stay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so happy that you had a really good experience with your first purchase here in Thailand. I know some people don't have the best of experience, and that is very unfortunate because it is a little bit of like the Wild West here in Thailand. So you have to be, you have to really do your due diligence and make sure you work with the right people. What are some of the pros and cons that you've experienced since you lived here, the little amount of time that you've lived here?
Like the area I picked, I like because of the convenience. Everything I need or may want, on a daily basis is right outside the front door. Everything is is affordable.
Mhm.
That's a big thing.
That's a big pro. Yeah.
Yeah, even when people say, hey, are you gonna get a bike? Are you gonna get a car? What you gonna do? I'm like, no, I'll just, use the transportation here because it's so cheap.
Mhm.
I think one of the cons is that out of all the YouTube videos I watched, one of the problems we had was that my local bank did not transfer funds out of the country. So I had to go back to take care of that so I could find a bank that would transfer funds outside the country. And that was one of the big downfalls because I retired early. But if I didn't retire at the time, I wouldn't have been able to finish what I wanted to do when I came the first time. But because I was retired, I was able to go back and then come back. But at that time, if I didn't, I would be going back to work.
Yeah.
Couldn't take the time to come back.
Yeah. But I feel like everything happens for a reason. So I think you were meant to be here, and I think that you'll do really well because you, like you said earlier, you're very level-headed and you're not like coming here with a tourist mentality. You're here with a mentality like, I'm here to retire, I'm here to live, I'm here to stay here long term. So I think you have a game plan, and I feel like a lot of people when they come here, they get attracted to the tourist, life or lifestyle, should I say, and they tend to spend more money than they plan, which is very easy to do in a place like Pattaya because there's a lot of nightlife, there's a lot of things to do. Yeah, there's a lot of temptations, and you have to practice your self-control, which I feel like a lot of people when they come here, it's a little bit hard for them. How do you feel about that?
I think if you come here with the vacation mentality, I don't think you're going to respect the place as much as you should. You're not going to respect the people. You're not going to respect the culture. You're just here to have a good time, and then you're back on the plane and you're out of here. And but if you're coming here and you're looking at retiring and staying here, you come with a different appreciation for the people in the country. But that vacation mentality, yes, it is horrible. People come here and they just want to ransack their way through and just have as much fun as possible, take pictures, and next thing you know, they're on a plane out of here.
Other than the real estate purchase, what are some of the highs that you've experienced since you've been here?
How helpful everybody is. I mean, I don't know the language. I'm learning little by little. But if you don't know the language, they're so easily to just help and try to understand what you want. They have no problem with the translators or Google Translate or anything. They will help you. And the thing that gets me is when you're the one that's confused and you're trying to figure out how to communicate to this person, they always thank you. Like, you did something. I didn't do anything. You did everything. But they always thank you. They're always smiling. Once you get in a community and you get to you buy a property, you work, finding out your community, you build up relationships with those people, and in the stores and the laundries and the restaurants, and they know you for it's like as soon as you walk in, they're like, hey.
Yeah.
It becomes a community of people that you can trust and you can rely on.
Talking about community, have you found some American friends here in town, or?
Oh yeah. There's some people to hang out with on the Thursdays and Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Brandon over at Coach's Lounge, and Reggie that helped me out with some VA stuff, the military stuff. Yeah. There's a few guys that I network with when we hang out.
Well, that's awesome. I think having a community is very important, especially when you're far away from home. At least you have, that network. You have those who are like-minded and those who can assist you. I know that here in Pattaya, there's a pretty big American expat community, also German, French, many nations. Pattaya especially is like a melting pot of gold. It's mixed with all kinds of people from many places on earth, and I think it's just very amazing. Because you're going to be living here, are you planning to learn some Thai to integrate a little bit better?
Oh, definitely. I got to learn some. Just I can't always speak English in Thailand. You have to learn the language just to be respectful, I believe.
Yeah. How do you feel the communication was when you're speaking with locals here? Do you feel like there's a language barrier?
No, not really. I think maybe once I bumped into somebody that was doing something and they didn't understand any English, and I actually used my translator then. But other than that, communication is not that bad. It's not really a barrier.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I think they're afraid of Thailand because of that very reason, because I think that the language barrier will be a huge problem or a huge challenge for them. I personally feel like if you live in a big enough city like Bangkok, Pattaya, Phuket, Koh Samui, you can get away with English. A lot of people, well, a lot of Thais know English to a certain extent. There are some, like Leonard said earlier, but for the majority of people who work in the service industry, I feel like they know some English.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a huge barrier.
And I think you have to, like I said, you have to understand that you can't just go to a restaurant and order like you're in, just a regular restaurant in the States and start ordering like, hey, let me get, scrambled eggs over easy and all that stuff. You have to explain it to the point that they understand it and not just assume that they understand English or everything you say because you don't understand everything that they're saying. So, it's just how it is. You have to explain everything. But just make it simple. Just make it as simple as possible. If you like your eggs over easy and they don't get it, then hey, get them scrambled.
Yeah. There's always a solution for every problem here in Thailand.
Yeah,
I feel like.
they don't understand it, get something else or do something else.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, when they come here, they get quite frustrated with the way the Thais work or sometimes with the communication. And I feel like sometimes I feel like people forget that Thailand is not an English-based country. Here in Thailand, we speak mainly Thai, and English is the second language for some people. And if the locals can't understand you, you might be talking a little bit too fast, and perhaps you're using the vocabulary that's too complex. Try to simplify it. Like Leonard said, try to make it to where they understand what you're trying to say. And sometimes, do you feel like people, when they come here, they want to impose what they they can, have or find in their country, and they want it the same exact way here?
Yeah, I think it's funny because in the United States, we have an immigration problem. And it's quite common to hear people say, hey, speak English. You in America, speak English. But when they go other places and somebody say, hey, you're in Thailand, speak Thai, they feel insulted. They feel, oh, you're in this country. You're the visitor. You have to adapt to where you are. So I think when you come here, yes, you should know some Thai. At least the basic greetings and goodbyes and the thank yous and all that other stuff. But yes, Americans are sometimes entitled. Yeah. So they they want everything to go their way because we're Americans and so on and so on. But it doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work over here in a lot of other countries. So we have to get used to it.
Yeah. I don't think it's just Americans. I feel like even Europeans that have that mentality. But like I remind people all the time, this is Thailand. Thailand does things the way that Thailand does things. Yeah. It's not going to be the same as your home country. And if you really want to live here, you can't force the Thai people to really change our ways. It's just you have to adapt and be willing to work with us. Be patient as well. I think patience is a virtue, and respect is a major part of this country. What are some advice that you would give people if they're looking to retire in Thailand?
Get your funds together. Make sure everything is right as far as transferring funds and having the money to do what you need to do. Finding a good realtor and someone that can help you out on any issue besides just the real estate part of it. Come visit for a couple of weeks, a month or whatever, and get the lay of the land and make sure this is something or someplace you want to be. Other than that, just make a decision, do what you have to do, and make the move.
Easy as that.
That's pretty much.
And what are some of the things that you'd like to remind people to be aware of when you come here? Anything?
Oh, really? Beware of what? I would say just there's always scams going on, from taxis to overcharging you on the rate, or that's not all I know of. I'm gonna be aware of anything else.
I can think about another scam. Your
Right.
credit cards. If you guys use your credit card a lot here in Thailand, just be careful of the ATMs that you use it at. The ATMs I would recommend are the ATMs in the mall, because inside the mall there's video cameras everywhere, CCTV everywhere, and you're mostly safe. But if you use just like some dodgy ATM outside on the street, you can get, what do you call it when they like scan your card and get all the information? I'm not sure what they call it, but they like put like something in the ATM.
Oh, the skimmers.
Yeah, the skimmers. They do exist here. I've heard of some cases from my friends, but like I said, they were using like dodgy ATMs on the road, and it's something that I wouldn't advise people.
Like I say, the other thing is that you're not the most handsome man in the world.
Maybe they are.
That's the only other thing. You're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that 1,000 times. You may think you GQ, but you're not. That's the only other thing. Is just be careful. Like I said, just be careful of what you do and how you spend your money.
I feel like a lot of foreigners know to be aware of Thai women, especially because a lot of foreigners are foreign men who come here. But I feel like the other thing is to be aware of the friends that you make, because amongst the people that you think are like-minded, sometimes they're here and they're really struggling financially, and you can be a victim of theirs, which I don't really hear about on YouTube or in any like social medias. But there are people who got financially hurt or even murdered. I think like a year ago, there was a German real estate agent that was murdered here in Thailand by another German. So that kind of stuff happens, which is very rare, you guys. Very, very rare.
And I remember that story. I actually remember that story.
Do you remember that story?
That was part of the time I was doing my research. Because, one of the things I was looking for was, the crime rate. And Thailand had a low crime rate. I mean, growing up in Brooklyn, the crime in Brooklyn is like 10 times worse than here.
Yeah.
So that's what I was looking for. And I remember looking at some of the news stories and stuff like that. And you're right. It's usually the same
Group.
Countrymen that's doing the things to each other because of financial situations.
Yeah.
So yes, you definitely have to be leery of the friends you make. Everybody's not out to have a good time and have a good life.
Yeah. But yeah, regarding the safety situation, how do you feel? Do you feel like it's safe?
Yeah, I feel safe when I go out at night, and I'm not, getting to the point of getting drunk that I don't know where I am or blacking out. I mean, you still have to be aware and be responsible. But I feel safe everywhere I go, everywhere I've been so far since I've been here. One of the things I do want to touch on is, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's not being told on YouTube. And there was one gentleman I seen on YouTube, I can't remember, sorry, who it was, but he talked about the loneliness that goes on with guys to come here. And you end up in situations where it's like, do I go on or do I just end it now? And that happens here because of the loneliness, because of the financial situation that they put themselves in. And if you're not strong enough to handle being by yourself or being alone and getting in a situation to deal with the stress, it may not be a place for you.
Yeah, that is very true. And that's something that, yeah, that's right. You don't really hear about that. But there are some people who, end their life earlier than expected because of those very reasons. And it's very, very sad, but something that I think more people should talk about and should warn others about. I think mental health is a big issue here in Thailand, especially here in Pattaya, I feel like, because there's so much like vices, and you can drown yourself in alcohol. You can drown yourself with so many things that aren't good for you, and that can make you lose your way. So you have to really be mindful of that and not go down that wrong path. How about the food here? Do you enjoy Thai food?
I haven't had much.
Really?
Not really. I mean, just, a little here, a little there, but I haven't ventured out much. I mean, I do the seafood. I always do the fried rice and some noodles and stuff like that, but nothing too Thai.
Okay.
Not
so basically you didn't come here for the food.
No.
Unlike some people.
No, that didn't matter at all. I'll eat whatever I can eat, but I ain't worried about the food.
And why out of all the places did you choose Pattaya? Because there are so many, different cities. Phuket, Bangkok, Chiang Mai. Why Pattaya?
Well, the research I did was pretty much in Pattaya.
Yeah.
Everything I seen was Pattaya, and it was just a place I wanted. And plus, I wanted the beach town. I'm not a fan of the beach. I'm not a big beach person, but I love the water. So I wanted to be in the beach town and just relax and live that relaxed beach life.
Was one of the reasons you chose Pattaya is because it's close to Bangkok for traveling, and also we have quite a bit of large hospitals as well?
Yeah, that, and also being VA connected. I wanted to be someplace that when I need to go see somebody or take care of some medical issues, I was able to do that. And Pattaya has a VA clinic here, so that was also a plus.
Yeah, and they also have the VFW, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the group for the veterans, which I don't think they have in Phuket or Bangkok. I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure.
Don't quote me on that, y'all. But if you guys know, please leave a comment down below. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to touch on was, do you feel like there's a lot of races here in Thailand, or have you felt discriminated by the locals here? What are your experiences?
No, I have never experienced any racism or any type of discrimination, anything from the local Thai people. Like I said, they're so welcoming and so accepting here. I said, but I did experience some other type of slight racism, but it's usually from the Europeans that's here. That's also here visiting and living. But as far as Thai people go, not at all. They welcome you with open arms.
Mm-hmm. So it's truly the land of smiles, or is that just false image?
Definitely the land of smiles. I mean, you just smile at everything. You can just nod your head, they smile. You learn to smile back. That's the biggest thing. I mean, growing up in the United States, everybody doesn't smile. No matter what it is. You can hold the door open for somebody. You can give them money. You can do whatever, and most people won't smile. But here, Thai people are gonna make you smile. Smiles are addictive. And the more they smile at you, the more you smile at them.
Yeah. And I think that's like the big charm of Thailand, is the people. I feel like people feel like they are welcomed and they can be themselves here in Thailand. And I think that's like one of the major things that attracts people from all over the world to Thailand. Do you feel like that is one of the positives?
Yeah, not only can you just be yourself, there's no judgment. We grow up with this materialistic idea, and you got to have this name brand this or that name brand that. It's like living here, you can go outside with a purple shirt and yellow pants and rainbow shoes, and people will still smile at you, and nobody cares.
Yeah, they're not going to treat you any different, right?
Yeah, nobody cares what you're wearing or what's going on. You got all the jewelry and stuff. Nobody cares. Not here.
Yeah. And I think that's very freeing, because I know when I lived in France, people would look at you like head to toe. What brand name are you wearing? And they would treat you accordingly. So if you're not wearing no big brand name, they'd be like, okay.
So that definitely doesn't matter over here. You can wear what you want, just be yourself. I mean, you don't even got to bring an iron.
Yeah, very true.
You don't even have to bring an iron. You just throw on what you got on and just go out and have a good time and enjoy the country and the people.
Yeah. And what do you think is like the number one rule in Thailand that people need to know when they come here?
Be respectful. Respect everybody. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest rule. Just be respectful.
And I totally agree. And I think that should be a universal rule anywhere you go, It's just a vibe. It's a feeling that you get from the other person. If you feel a good vibe, the other person will reciprocate in a good way. But if you're giving off bad vibes or like you're stuck up or whatever, I highly doubt that you'll be treated very kindly. But I feel like Thailand, even though like there are those type of people that feel like they are above others, they still get treated pretty well, but you can run into issues. So I don't really recommend that. But yeah, I think the number one rule is definitely respect.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Have you run into any issues with anyone, the locals or foreigners here in Thailand, except for that person that wasn't very,
No, like I said, I haven't had any issues, but I'm also polite. I'm not one of those people to go out there and look for trouble, whatever. So I'm always polite. I'm always smiling. I'm always with the thank yous and the please and everything else. So I give respect, so I expect it back. But I haven't experienced anything, nothing like that especially from the locals.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I think you have like the right mindset to live here in harmony with the locals. And yes, definitely Leonard is one of the most respectful person that I've met. He's always been very kind and I really appreciate that. So thank you.
No problem.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, like I said, it's a beautiful country, beautiful people, just stress-free. It's the life.
Awesome. And you're excited to come back and truly live here in May?
Yes, one more trip and that would be it. It's a one-way ticket next time I come.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. And we will definitely do a little update video in a year's time, let's say.
Okay.
And see how you enjoyed Thailand, or should I say Pattaya, in a year from now?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview, and thank you so much for choosing me to be your real estate agent and for trusting me and for being an awesome human being. I really appreciate you, and I hope you find everything that you came here for, and the best of luck with everything.
Well, thank you for answering my email.
Anyway, that's going to be all for today's video. Thank you for tuning in. Stay healthy and happy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.